Oh, sorry, just getting myself together here. All right, all right. Well, hello, everyone. Welcome to a. Sorry, I'm hearing noises. All right, welcome to a brand new episode of Hot Topics. Let me tell you what this show is about. So, this is the show where we like to talk that real talk. We like to talk about things that are happening in education, employment, mental health, or anything else that is steamy. We like to have those conversations that we like to keep to ourselves, or we have those thoughts that we kind of just keep in our own heads, and we like to put all of that out there for everyone to see, all for the purpose of education. So this isn't your gossip show. This is an educational show. And today is no different than any other day. And it just occurred to me that I forgot my topic banner. Give me one second. I'm just going to put this banner in here. Okay, so today I am excited about today because I have a repeat guest. I love it when the guests come back and sit on the hot seat yet again. And my guest is going to talk about a very important topic. So I'm curious to see which way we're going to go. And that topic for today is organization, right? Organization. So we're going to talk about what that means, how we get there. So I'm curious to see what direction we take this. So we're going to talk about organization. And my repeat guest for today, her name is Brittany Gregorio. She's done 2 other episodes with me, and she's back for number 3. So her name is Brittany Gregorio, and I'm just going to remind you about who she is. So, who is Brittany Gregorio? So, Brittany started her business as an experienced virtual assistant and flourished into a marketing strategist specializing on content marketing. Her passion is helping entrepreneurs reach their growth goals. When she is not running her successful company, she spends a lot of snuggle time with her 3 boys, 2 rescue cats, and loving husband. So adorable. All right, you guys, I'm going to bring her to the stage right now. Hey, how you doing today?
Hey, I'm great. Thank you so much for having me again. I can't believe this is my third time with you.
I know. Thank you for coming back. Oh man, so interesting to see where we'll go with this. We're going to talk about organization. So, as you've done before, I'm going to hand over the baton and I'm going to let you take over. So go ahead and take it away.
All right. So, organization in business is organization in life in general is just a really great skill to have. But organization in business is just one of those must haves because as we all know, when we are unorganized, our minds are cluttered and our space is cluttered, and we don't know who's doing what, and there's no communication. You're not going to go anywhere. You're going to stay stagnant, and you're not going to grow like you want to grow. So there are some things that you can do to really help get organized as a business owner. And the first and foremost, the one thing that's the most important is just being super clear. I know everybody talks about clarity, but it's real and it's really important for you as an entrepreneur to have clarity and just have a general vision of where you see your business going. It doesn't have to be exact. It will change 10 ways from Sunday, I promise you that. But just have an overall vision, little baby steps on that way to the big goal is where we like to go. We don't want to jump from here to big goal. That's really not how it works on your entrepreneurial journey. That's a tough word. So we want to take baby steps on how to get there. And in order to take those baby steps to get to your ultimate business goals, we need to be organized. Do you have any questions for me so far, Gabrielle?
So far no. So let's get into those steps.
Okay. So I'll share a little bit about what I used to do within my own company. So spreadsheets are life. Not everybody likes spreadsheets, but spreadsheets in the very beginning stages will be super helpful for you. It doesn't have to be anything fancy. I would literally just give my spreadsheet a title, put, dates, uh, the names of whoever I was working with. Maybe it was for clients, maybe it was for leads coming into my ecosystem. So spreadsheets are a really great tool and it's free. I absolutely love the Google Drive. That's kind of where I like to live with sheets and docs. And it's easy because once you start building a team, you can just share it with your team. So that's really important to get involved with. If you're in the drive or you like spreadsheets or you have documents that you can easily share with your team once you start building. That's also another component to staying organized, is being able to easily share when you get to that level. So you can start off with some basic spreadsheets. Now, another trick of the trade that I'll share with you, the program is called Asana. That's Asana, Asana. And it has been a true lifesaver for me. I started using it back when I worked for a corporate company in California, and I loved it so much at work at the time that I started using it in my personal life. The soccer games and basketball games that my kids had. When a bill was due, I put everything into Asana, and it kept my life on track because as a busy mom with three, I can be a little forgetful at times, and I just like to have a clear cut picture in my mind of what's happening and what date and time and notes and things like that. So Asana is a really great platform to leverage. It's similar to Trello. I know a lot of people are familiar with Trello. The way that my brain works, Trello is just too much for me. It's just something about the way it's laid out. My brain just has a hard time processing it. So Asana is really great because it has a list view. It has that calendar view like Trello. It also has a card view like Trello. The list view is where I like to live. So I can set my weeks out, 1, 2, 3, and know where everything is going and when it's happening. Side note, it's also really wonderful to use for content. So I use Asana all day, every day in my company and with my clients because that's where I house their content. So everybody has eyes, my team and myself and the client has eyes on what's going to social, what's going to Google, what's going to their email marketing. We all know what's going where. So it's really nice because you can incorporate your team, you can add your clients, or you can just use it for your own content purposes. But it's really, really great and you can schedule it out. I always have my content scheduled out 2 to 3 weeks in advance. I put everything in Asana so that it literally becomes just a copy and paste and then it's out into the world. So definitely check out Asana. They have a free version, which is really nice if you want some of the additional features when it comes to reporting and analytics. You have to get the paid version, but it's honestly a lot more affordable than most of the programs out there. Platforms like ClickUp are really great. There was another one. Oh, Monday. Some entrepreneurs are familiar with Monday. I personally have always loved Asana. I've used it for almost 7 years, I believe. So I just really like it. I find other platforms confusing. And when we're talking about organization in your business, simplifying is key. You have to simplify because if you have your hands in a whole bunch of different buckets, you're not going to be organized, right? I mean, that's just common sense. So the simpler, the better is my rule of thumb. How am I doing so far, Gabrielle? Any questions?
So far, so good. So, so it sounds like you're advocating for a lot of computerized programs. So things like Google Drive, I can testify to that. I live by Google Drive. You brought up some other programs as well. So it from what you're describing, it sounds like you have to be very advanced in technology. Is that safe to say?
I don't think it's safe to say. I will politely sort of disagree with you there. So I am not, my teammates would call me not very tech savvy. I don't like complicated stuff, especially when it comes to tech stuff. It's very overwhelming for me. So you really don't. And Asana is very simple and basic. So that's why I like it so much. It doesn't require a lot of brain power and thinking. It's just there. You pull it up and it's just there, right? So it's just a really great platform to have. The other ones, personally, I think that they do require a little bit more. They're much more in depth to me than a platform like Asana. Um, but if I can use it, anybody can use it.
All right, all right. So, what about the old school? Well, before we get to that, so let's start. Let's go into the basic reason. So, why is it so important? And you may have touched on it, but I'm just gonna touch it upon it again. Why is it so important to be organized? What's wrong with um, throwing everything in a clutter and just figuring it out? Why is it so important to know where everything is and have everything categorized and just knowing where everything is? Why is it so important to be organized, especially in business?
Right, great question. So it will keep you on track. It'll just keep you on track to reach those milestones to your whatever your ultimate goal may be. Throwing everything in a bag and just mixing it up, number one, is complicated and it's confusing, and you're going to start to lose things, and you're going to start to deflate a little bit, and then really at the end of the day you're not putting 110% effort and energy into your business if stuff is just kind of flying all over, and it's going to take you time to find certain things and dig through certain things, whereas if you were organized it would just be there, and you might spend 5 minutes on something versus on an unorganized version where you're spending maybe half an hour to 45 minutes on something. And then really what that is doing is it's preventing you from increasing your revenue. So the time that you're spending to try to, pull something out of the bag and get organized, you could be spending that money on an income producing activity.
Hmm. So you're saying if we take the time to get organized, then it will allow us to gain more revenue in business.
Exactly. Absolutely. It really will. And, that's a really great point because I see it a lot when it comes to content, when it comes to graphics and writing and, whatever you're utilizing your content for. 9 times out of 10, the entrepreneurs that come to me don't have a plan. They're not set up, they're not organized, and they'll be like, "Well, I just really didn't know what to put up on a Friday at noon, so I just threw up like a picture of my dog. I just put it out there on social." And I'm like, "Okay, well, let's try to strategize and get a little bit more organized. It's just going to save you some more time. It's going to allow you to bring more revenue into your business, and it's going to give you a really big peace of mind as well. You're going to have such a sense of ease once everything is organized, and then when you start building and bringing on a team, maybe you want to bring on a VA, maybe a social media manager, maybe a marketer, however you see fit. When you start growing your business and developing a team, all that organization is right there. Your teammates can find stuff easily. They don't have to go through and dig. And I see a lot of businesses really suffer and fail really because they are so unorganized. And then they think they need a team member when they really maybe just need some better organization. And then they bring on a member, and the team member is frustrated because they don't know where anything is, and your thoughts are all jumbled around, and they don't know how to access anything. And then you get frustrated as an entrepreneur at the team member because they're not doing what you want them to do, but they can't because nobody's on the same page. You see how that works?
Yes, yes, yes. So basically, what you're saying is, well, actually, I'll make this point. It is a benefit to be organized because if you're ever looking to scale and to grow your business, you want to take all those thoughts that are in your head and put it on paper or put it on the screen, and you want to be able to transfer those thoughts to somebody else so that they can replicate your vision. So it's a good idea to have things categorized and labeled, and so that information can be transferred to someone else so that they can pick up that vision and be able to replicate it. What are your thoughts on that?
Yes, absolutely. And it's going to make your life easier and ease the frustration, and it's going to make their life easier. And together, you will have a very cohesive work balance, right? And then you can move on to your income producing activities. So the time you would have spending organizing and doing all that stuff that probably frustrated you and probably wasn't much fun, you can be like, okay, now I can book a podcast. I can reach out to more people. I can see how I can show up and serve better because I'm not wasting hours every week doing all of this organization. Now, I do go old school once in a while. I've been a writer since I was little, so I have a hard time typing notes on a computer sometimes. I mean, I put stuff into Asana, but I do that after I've written everything down by hand with my pen and a piece of paper. But what I do is when I have a content thought or I'm having a moment of inspiration and I need to write a piece of content for a client, I will write it down, but then I'll always log it in a journal. So I have dedicated books, journal books and writing pads to separate clients, to different work projects, all of those things. So, and then I take those notes that I've written down and I put them either on a spreadsheet or I put them on a platform like Asana. So you can go old school with it. If you're a writer like me and you just want to write stuff down or jot something down on a post-it note, do it. That's amazing. But then take that post-it note and upload it onto a more organized platform where you won't lose it.
Mm. All right, all right. All right. So are there any more steps?
Let's see. So we covered Asana, we talked about spreadsheets, and just having, oh, this is a really great point to make. Just having, I would like to create a strategy sheet for myself. It's just a document. You can go ahead and do it in a drive. It doesn't have to be anything fancy because you're going to be the only one seeing it. Or you can create it in a notebook and just leave it there private because, again, it's really going to be your eyes only, but start to strategize where you want your business to go, what your growth goals are. The easiest way that I found how to break things out like that is breaking them quarter over quarter. Some people like to do it weekly, some people do it monthly. Again, the way that my brain just works, I like to see, quarterly views, those months clustered together. That's just the way that I like to roll when it comes to that. So have a strategy, build it out monthly, build it out quarterly, however you'd like to do, and refer back to it often. And when you've hit your milestone, when you've hit a goal, check it off the list. Because not only is that going to keep you organized in your own thoughts and in your vision for your company, but I'm telling you, it's like a whole different world when you start doing that, and you're going to be more proactive and you're going to be like, okay, that's next month's goal. I'm going to crush that while keeping everything organized. Because if you don't have a basic strategy set up for yourself, if you're like, well, I'm not sure where my company is going to be in a month, I'm not sure where it's going to be in a year, so I really don't know, that's not going to benefit you at all. Take the hour. Trust me, it's going to save you a year's worth of a headache. Take the hour, build out a strategy for yourself, and just jot down those goals and have it be like a checklist, and just cross them off. And you'll start to see how that will really start to scale your business.
Mm. So I want us to take a moment and actually define define organization. Like what is it pertaining to business? It's um what is it exactly? So let's get a definition out.
That's a hard one. It's, I guess, just having the vision and staying on track. That's really what it comes down to if you think about it. Because if you break it down, you need that vision, you need that upwards trajectory if you're focused on growth and scaling, and you need to be organized in how you do that. So, does that answer your question? I'm not, you want to be a little more specific for me?
Yeah. So so I would say to be organized when it comes to business. So I was talking about like with something like Google Drive. What I like about Google Drive is that you can create folders, right? And you can label every folder. Um, so it's well, one thing I would say it's writing things down. That's number one. Number two is putting it in little sections. So So something like this is creating a folder. So this folder is for my invoices. This folder is for um I guess I'll talk about me. So I have a folder for my progress reports. I have a folder for my statements. I have a folder for all my pictures. I have a folder for all my audio files. So instead of throwing it all in one big folder, it's separating it into different folders and labeling it, so I know where each thing is. So something like that. So making categories, separating things, writing things down, a checklist like you talked about, um, creating a business plan, things like that. Is there anything you want to add to that?
Yeah, absolutely. No, I mean, that just nails it right there. Yeah, your thoughts need to be organized, and then you need to take those organized thoughts and organize your business. And I mean, you don't have to go crazy. So when I first started, I was labeling everything. Everything had to be a color. Everything had to be like so separate to the point where it got really complicated and hard to find. And my drive probably had 250 folders in it. It was like I went nuts, and then I was wasting so much time trying to find things, and I said to myself, okay, you need to stop. Like, this is nuts. So, and that's when I started really implementing Asana again, because I had been so used to it, and it's just really such a wonderful platform. So yeah, I mean, like you were saying how you broke things down. I would say that's perfectly. You want to have your business plan. You want to maybe have, for me and my clients, it would be their content, it would be their social media strategy, any type of graphic that we had. All of my clients actually have their own folder in the drive and then their own section in Asana. So yeah, the drive is, like you just said, though, it's amazing to utilize the drive.
And then when it comes to content and social media, you want to I mean, I I I need to work on my social media, but ideally you want to plan. Well, I don't know how you do it, but you want to plan 30 days in advance, right? So you create your posts, 30 days in advance with a picture, with your text. Every day you schedule it at a certain time, and every day is better at a different time. So you want to plan out your social media in advance, a month in advance. So is that something that you do for your clients?
I don't plan a month in advance.
Okay.
I do 2 weeks, 2 weeks, 2.5, maybe three. Probably not. I don't really like that three. Sometimes it depends on what they have going on. But I stay to 2 weeks only because things change. Promotions get added in. Maybe they've been on a podcast and they want to promote that, or they just decided that tomorrow they want to run a 24-hour flash sale or something like that. Or I just had a client, we planned everything out, and she was like, you know what, I feel strongly I want to run a meditation challenge, a 21-day meditation group, and help people heal and meditate. Great. So, and that's not to say that the content gets wasted, because it definitely doesn't, but it's just a lot easier. I feel like after doing this so long, it's easier to go in chunks when it comes to social. That's why we like to do a 2.5 week mark, because 30 is almost too much. Does that make sense?
You're saying 30 is overkill. 2 weeks is good because
I,
things.
I would say 30 is way overkill. I mean, do it if you want. So it's funny that you're bringing this up, because I was talking to a client last night and we were on a strategy session, and she said just that. I schedule all of my stuff 30 days in advance. And then we talked about how she was doing, and she's not converting at all. And I said, all right, let's dig a little bit deeper. So we, began to dig a little bit, and it was almost like overwhelm. She just took an hour a month to on a Monday to create all of this content. But when you're doing that and you're creating content in mass batches like that, can you honestly say to yourself that you are giving 110% into every single piece of copy? And 9 times out of 10, that answer is no. you have to do what works for you. If doing it 30 days in advance is what you do and you're converting well, great. Continue to do that. I'm not telling you to stop. But for most of us, we take things in smaller batches. We see how things are performing. We move things around where need be. We do a bunch of A/B testing, things of that nature. And 30, it is, a whole month in advance is a little overwhelming for a lot of people. But if it's working, stick with it.
Right. And then with your strategy, you're allowing for unplanned changes. You're allowing for curveballs because things happen and you may plan out 2 weeks, but then there's a sale, and there's this event that you just found out from one of your colleagues and you want to promote that. And so you're allowing for, I don't want to say chaos, but you're allowing for the unexpected to happen, and then you're planning accordingly, and it's easy to do that when you plan for 2 weeks.
Absolutely. Much easier. Much easier. You can push things to a following week. I have always found it a struggle to change things around when it's on a 30-day calendar. So I do prefer the smaller chunks.
And what are your thoughts on automation? So even pertaining to social media, using programs that'll schedule it for you, as opposed to you know, every 9 o'clock in the morning, every day I have to make this post. But if you use a third party software that'll do it for you, and you can schedule it and you can plan it, that's less stress for you. So those are my thoughts. What are your thoughts on automatic processes?
Right. Yeah. Great question. So I personally am not a fan. And I'm not a fan for a few different reasons. I think that I personally am just all about a more personalized hand holding touch. And I like to be the one to do it. And so the way that it flows in the business is that we put everything out in Asana so that, like I said, it's just a simple copy and paste. It takes me 2 seconds to get something out on social media. I like to review it a couple times before I put it out, but that's just me. But it literally under 5 seconds will say it takes, because if you're just copy and pasting, that takes no time at all, and you can get it to any platform that you want. Third-party platforms, I've been working with them for years. We've tested them. We've given it a lot of thought. I've even meditated over it. And we use them for us, and then we use them for clients. And I just wasn't a fan. We didn't see much traction at all. We got lower visibility. And it's kind of a real pain in the butt if you plan something 30 days in advance, and like you said, a curveball or a great opportunity comes in and you want to run a promo. You have to now go back into that third party platform and redo everything. What I have found that has really worked well is if you absolutely need to schedule something in advance, I would go ahead and connect. This is a really nice feature that Facebook and Instagram share, because they can communicate together now. When you go into the Facebook backend, you can use the publishing tools, and it's free. It doesn't cost you anything. A lot of these other platforms are an expense, but that's fine. They're not terrible. But the one in Facebook is free, and you can sync that to your Instagram, and you can post, and so that knocks it out. I like to just post on LinkedIn at random, because I have found that I do get better visibility. I get more engagement, more comments, more impressions, which is really nice, because I like to connect and have that conversation with people. And yeah, I don't know. I'm really not a fan. I've really found that over the years, you do get the lower visibility, and it can be worrisome when you have to go and rearrange a whole month out. I would really try to post. Look, at the end of the day, when it comes to social media and it comes to content on social media, consistency and frequency win the day always. And relying on a third party platform that's not you, I feel some kind of way about that. And like I said, if you're utilizing a spreadsheet, if you're utilizing a platform like Asana or Monday, or whichever one you like, or Trello, it's 5 seconds, 5 seconds max. You're just copy and pasting. You have it all written out anyway. So then that sort of eliminates the need for a third party platform. If you have the time, though, a lot of people might not have the time, and they like to schedule it out, and it's working for them, and that's great. But if it's not, if that's the method that you're utilizing now and it's not working for you, I invite you to take a little bit of a deeper dive, maybe for 30 days, dedicate yourself to, okay, you know what, I'm going to plan out my content. I'm just going to, copy and paste and get it out there, and see how those pieces perform. That's the best thing that I can do. Entrepreneurship requires a lot of A/B testing. So with things like platforms and content, you do have to test it.
What is the for the what for those people out there who may not know what is A/B testing?
A/B testing is just split testing. Some people call it 1-2 testing. Some people call it A/B testing. So you just test one group of things, a tactic, a strategy, a piece of content. You do that once, an email marketing campaign. You do that once, see how it works, get your analytics, get your numbers back. If it didn't work that great, okay, you go to plan B, right? And then try the B group of testing and see where you get and where you're at with that. But if group A worked really great, then tweak it, repurpose it, and figure out a plan for that.
Ah, so it's not, you're exploring what works for you and what works for your audience. You're not sticking to one strategy. You're exploring multiple strategies, and you're finding something that works for you and your business.
Absolutely. Yeah, you have to. We all do. As entrepreneurs, you can't just stick to one strategy or one tactic or, one type of piece of content or one social media platform. You really have to continue testing and see what's the best fit for you. And it will change over time. Like, for example, look at the market now. The market now is not the same market it was 6 months, 2 years ago, a year ago. That's what I meant to say. The market is completely different now. So things will change, which is going to require you to really dig deep and continue testing what's working, what's not. Are you meeting your market where they're at? Is your messaging on point? Are they even on the same platform anymore? So you see, it requires these different groups of testing.
Mm, interesting. All right. So, in terms of being organized, so you're not a fan of automation. You're just so basically you're saying just every day, just put out content at random.
If you can have it all written out and all organized. So like I said before, it can be just a simple copy and paste, which will take you 2 to 5 seconds. So that really takes no time at all. But I would really, it's more personal. And I know this might sound a little woo woo, but people can tell. People can really tell. And they'll get that vibe, whether you're posting organically, genuinely as a real authentic human and entrepreneur, or if you've just whatever batched stuff and it's just going out whenever. And again, if it's I don't want to, throw shade on that if that's working for you, if that strategy is working for you. If it's working, amazing, great, I applaud you. I don't come in contact with a lot of people that have that success, but if it's working for you, great. There's nothing wrong with that strategy. But if it's not working, again, take a look at that and maybe try posting a little bit more organically.
Hmm. All right. So I'm wondering, is there a situation where it's better to be disorganized? Maybe it depends on the type of field that you're in or the type of business that you have. I'm trying to do some opposite thinking here. So, is there a circumstance where it's actually better to be disorganized?
I would say that really depends on the business. It really would depend on the business, the situation, the circumstances, where they're heading, what their goals are. But I would say, without a doubt, every entrepreneur needs a strategy plan. They need a business plan. They need a strategy, quarter over quarter, month over month, however you want to work it. But that should be at least what they have. But it really would depend. I would have to dive a little bit deeper into specific situations.
Hmm. All right. So, the type of clients that come to you, right? What are let's say the top three most common problems that you see in your clientele?
They're unorganized. They are not clear on their messaging, and they are using copy and paste content. And for those that are watching, if you are unsure what copy paste content, it's basically mass produced content that a lot of people use. And there's companies out there that produce this, and I think there's an AI company out there that does it now too. But there's a lot of, small businesses and other companies that just produce this mass content where you take it, but it's not customized or personalized to you because you're posting it great, but so are thousands of other people around the world. So that's really what I'm seeing right now. There's just such a disconnect, and there's a huge disconnect when it comes to brand awareness.
How so? Can you go into that more?
Oh, right, absolutely. So there's, most of us were not building businesses. I know that sounds a little like, what is she saying? You're building a brand. You're building this beautiful legacy, if you will, not to get too cheesy, but you're building this brand. It's not just about a business. It's about this brand, and your main goal should be to spread brand awareness, because when we're spreading brand awareness, there's, more money is coming into the bank. You're making new connections, you're helping people, you're showing up and serving, so really spreading awareness about your brand is the root of your business and where you need to start. I like to use the car analogy all the time when it comes to content and content marketing. Like, that's your engine of your car. That is hands down the most important thing about your brand is your content. Because think about it. Every single thing that you put out into the world and online space is content. DMs are content. A bio is content. The actual content, your posts, your copy, your captions, your videos, your, the reels, the TikToks, every single thing that you're doing is content. Even old school mailers that you get in the snail mail now, every single thing is content. So that content is the engine of your car. If that's not working, your car is not going to turn on. So you really need to be focused on building that brand, and you build that brand with your
Hmm, interesting. So before, one of the problems that you said that your clients are unorganized. What do you mean? What does that look like? Describe it for us.
Oh, wow, I could sit here all night. It looks like they have nothing written, they have no strategy, they have no business plan. Their social media is very unorganized. They have different titles and different links and different captions. There's no cohesion. They don't really know where they see themselves in even 6 months, let alone 5 to 6 years. So they just don't know. They have, I had one woman, she came to me, she's the sweetest woman ever. And she would take pictures and text them to me of, it had to have been like 200 post-it notes all around her desk and her computer, and post-it notes everywhere that she couldn't make sense of. I couldn't make sense of. There was just chaos. It was really entrepreneurial chaos. No flow, no cohesion. Like I said, different names, different messages. Okay, I'm going to do this today, but I'm going to do something completely different tomorrow. The thoughts were not cohesive and very cluttered. And when people talk to me and they're on a strategy session with me, I ask them questions that is you wouldn't necessarily hear, that other people don't really ask. And I pull it out. I pull the clarity out of my clients and anybody, that has ever had a strategy session with me. And we really develop that clarity. And with that clarity, we implement and develop organization.
Like what? Give us a question.
What do you mean? I'm sorry.
You said there's questions that you would ask that you that you use to pull information
Oh,
out of
yes,
your
yes.
clients. What? Give us an example.
Okay, thank you so much. I'm sorry. It's almost 7 o'clock here, so I'm losing a little bit of steam. Right. So we dive into the sections of your business, and we dive into your differentiating factors, like what makes you different. Why should somebody come to you versus, Sally Smith down the street? So we go heavy into differentiating factors. We go into your background, like your personal background, like what life experience have you gone through that made you not only the human you are today, but the entrepreneur you are today. And that throws a lot of people, and they just kind of look at me and they have this like wow moment. I can see it all over their face. And then we start breaking down, what is your, talk to me about your how to content. And then we go into words of inspiration. Then we go into a couple other things, but I can't give away all of my secrets.
Shucks. All right, all right, all right. All right. So I know we're having a lot of fun, but let's start to wind things down. So if what is what is one piece of advice that you would like to share with our audience? Some big thing that you want to share with everyone. Maybe you wish somebody told you, 15 years ago. What advice would you like to share with our audience?
Yes, I love this. So it's simple, it's easy, but as always, stay authentic, friends. Authenticity will get you so far in life, in business. If I had one piece of advice then, I really wish somebody would have told me that. And we are going through tough times right now, and there are so many sexy trends, shiny objects. Put your head down, put your blinders on, and focus on you and focus on your brand. So at the end of the day, if you've taken anything away from this video, stay true to yourself and stay authentic.
Beautiful. One last question. I just had a thought. So, do you think entrepreneurs should computerize everything? I'm sure there's some entrepreneurs that, yeah, they're organized, but everything is in boxes, right? So there's separate boxes, um, and they have notebooks and notepads, and it's organized, but it's all pencil and paper and boxes and envelopes and as not like us where we're using Google Drive and Asana, we're using more electronic resources. So do you think entrepreneurs should switch over to electronic and get rid of the boxes and put everything in Google Drive? Should they stick to the boxes and the envelopes? And what are your thoughts on that?
I mean, don't get rid of them. That's so much hard work to just throw them. Don't get rid of them. Don't get rid of them. But yes, do yourself a favor. Digitize at least that, get on the computer, because like I said, if not for anything, it just becomes a simple copy paste click of a button. It'll make your life a lot easier, but don't throw them away.
I mean, don't throw it away, but just, you're to digitize everything. It'll make things easier.
Yeah, just get it on a computer, get Asana, get everything into the drive. It'll save you a lot of time and frustration.
All right, we got to move people to the modern age.
For sure.
All right. Well, Brittany, thank you so much for this conversation. It was awesome.
Thank you so much for having me. This was a true treat.
All right. So let's get your promo. It's promo time. All right, you guys. So Brittany is all over that social media. She got herself a website, y'all. The website is www.craftedcontentagency.com. Right. She also has a Facebook page, Crafted Content Agency. She is on Instagram and she is on LinkedIn. So please go to all of those accounts on social media. Go to her website if you want to learn more about her business, if you want to reach out to her. The information is scrolling below at the bottom of your screen if you just so happen to be watching this on video. And for those of you listening to this on audio, whether it's Spotify, Apple, all those other platforms, this information will be in the description. So if you weren't able to catch it now, don't worry. This information is provided to you. Brittany, can you tell us about your business?
Yes. So Crafted Content, we just did a rebrand. So we are super excited about that. And we are helping entrepreneurs all around the world elevate their business through their content, because it's the most important element of your business. We do copywriting. We have an expert team that handles all types of copy, anything that you need. Content-wise, we got you.
All right. There you go. Sorry. I'm feeling it in my throat there. All right. So you help people, schedule, you help people develop social media posts. You help people figure out their goals, their missions, and how to implement that.
We do, and we also do all of the writing, all of the back end writing, and then we will actually post for, should they choose to work with us as their social media manager, we handle all of the posting for them too. So all of their content, we not only strategize, but we actually are writing it on our end and getting it to their preferred social media platform based upon our strategy.
All right, there you go. So you guys, if if you're looking for a social media manager, Brittany is your girl. Hit her up. Let me give you her website again, www.craftedcontentagency.com. Being an entrepreneur is a lot of work. So the more that you can automate, the more that you can outsource, the better it is for you. So if you want someone to just control the social media, you just want to, here's the keys, run with it. I don't want to deal with it. Getting my thoughts together. Hit up Brittany, you guys. She will do all that for you. Like she said, one more time, the website, www.craftedcontentagency.com. She is on Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. All of that information is in the description. There's also scrolling at the bottom of your screen if you just so happen to be watching this on video. One way or another, the information is at your fingertips. All right. Well, Brittany, thank you so much for coming on today. This was awesome.
Thank you. Yes, this was amazing.
Awesome. All righty then. All right, you guys. So it is now my turn. I'm going to put up my contact information here. And bear with me. I'm feeling it in my throat, you guys. Okay. All right, well, you guys, we have reached the conclusion of our episode. Thank you so much for joining us today. Please check out our other episodes and don't forget to follow and subscribe. So whatever platform that you are taking in this episode, whether it's on video, like on YouTube or Twitter or Facebook, or if it's audio, like Spotify or Apple or Stitcher, whatever it is, follow and subscribe. And while you're at it, please let us know what you thought about this episode by leaving a comment in the comment section or in the comment thread. I definitely will appreciate your feedback. And as a reminder, this podcast is a production of A Step Ahead Tutoring Services. So, okay. If you would like to learn more about our company and the things that we have to offer, please check out our website, www.astepaheadtutoringservices.com. And we are all over that social media as well. Let me just make sure I get that in there. So we are on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Eventbrite, WhatsApp, and Instagram. So check us out on all those platforms and follow us on all those platforms. Stay in touch with us. And I'll just say our website one more time, www.astepaheadtutoringservices.com. And I also want to share that we're giving out a 15% discount. If you reach out to us, you're looking for a tutor, whether for yourself or for your child, and you let us know that you heard about us from Hot Topics, we'll give you a 15% discount off of 6 hours of tutoring. So I'm going to say that one more time. We will give you 15% off 6 hours of tutoring when you reach out to us and you say, hey, I heard about you from that Hot Topic show. Boom, 15% discount. So that should be an incentive for you to reach out to A Step Ahead Tutoring Services. I also want to encourage you to sign up for our email list and our texting list. Stay in touch with us. Learn all about us. We'll give you those promotions, discounts, special offers. Stay in touch with us. Sign up for that email list. Sign up for that texting list. That information is also in the description. Boom. All right, you guys, I'm just going to share this final message before we officially close.
Hey there, have you heard of us? We're a small team of tutors here at A Step Ahead Tutoring Services. We believe that education and information should be accessible to everyone, regardless of income, race, or creed. We're dedicated to making this happen, but we need your help. Please consider making a donation to our company. No amount is too small. Your donation will allow us tutors to remain employed, offer free and low-cost services, put on productions like this podcast, and reach out to families nationwide. With your help, we can tackle the academic challenges of our students and the emotional, mental, and behavioral changes that result from these challenges. As a bonus, we can improve our communities in the process. Support us today. Send your donation by Cash App to $ASATS 2013, by PayPal or Venmo to @ASATS 2013, or by Zelle to success at astepaheadtutoringservices.com. For our Facebook Live viewers, you can also send us a star. Your support means a lot to us. Please note, we're a for-profit company. We're not a charity. Your donation may not be tax deductible. Please consult a tax professional.
All right, you guys, and that is it for this episode. I, Gabrielle, look forward to seeing you at the next episode. Thank you so much for watching or listening. Now, I am signing off. Bye.